Good early morning, my good peoples. My peoples, my tribe, my soulmates, all the listeners, the people that could possibly grab a gem or two out of what I'm talking about. I'm going to talk about what I mentioned yesterday. Briefly in that short, my wife and I went to the gym yesterday. It was kind of cold and rainy in Vacaville, so we didn't walk the normal walk. So I didn't have the capacity to record while I was walking. So I did a short just to kind of let you know what I wanted to talk about, and that was pushing past the rough patches, is what I said. And I'm a very optimistic person. I take what's going on in my life in my own hands, and I take responsibility and accountability for my life, right? It's my life, it's my story, it's my journey. And then in that book, there are main characters, right? My wife, my kids. Those are really the only main characters. To be honest with you, that's about it. So it's our lives, right? Because we share a lot of the same moments and experiences together. But they, as individuals, each of them have their own life as well, their own perspective. We can see the same thing. We could be looking at the same thing and have completely different views of what we're looking at. Could set off a whole different set of memories and experiences looking at the same object. We're looking at it from different angles. We might see it in slightly different colors. All of those things, right? So each individual has their own experience, and we choose to share our experience with our loved ones and our friends and our colleagues and whatever, right? So that's what I'm doing here. And yesterday was not such a hot morning, right? Like it was pretty bad. Like late tonight, I'm gonna be headed back to Arizona, and my family's not coming with me. They're gonna stay behind, safe and sound, with her mom. We came as a family to devise a plan, and I'm gonna go to Arizona and grind it out. I'm gonna find income. I'm gonna find us a house. I'm gonna start that leg of the mission, and I'm gonna be without my people, right? So like, I hate that part, right? Like, I've done this a couple of times already. First big one was leaving Cincinnati to California. I don't know, 15 years ago, whatever it was. Excuse me. And I was in Cali several months without my family, and that was before Zeke. Choo-Choo was like one or two. So like, yeah, it was about 15 years ago. So it was tough, man. I really don't. When they're my base, when they're my foundation, and they're my like everyday reason. That's my reason. I use them as my anchor to eliminate excuse and to go for it, right? Like I got to do this for them because they're so important and they're so special and such wonderful people and deserving of my all. They deserve for me to go all out. So that's what I do. And then again, we did it briefly just now. Me and my oldest son came to Arizona for a couple of months, set up shop, and then that was a little different because I was back and forth. It was only an hour flight, $50. Could hop back and forth, so I did that. And then when I had the doctor's visits, I was stayed in Cali, and G was by himself in Arizona for some time, which was different, right? That's the first time our oldest like kind of left the nest and was doing his own thing. And then he was doing his own thing in the middle of that business, and it was different, right? Like the business was heavy, so he was in the middle of doing that while we were doing our thing. So, or while I was we were doing our thing while I was doing my business with the doctor. So now is the time that the reason I came back to California was to bring my family to a safe place, to reset, for me to go grind it out, go find a place for us to live, go generate some income for us to have money coming in to afford a place, and I didn't want them on the grind with us, right? So I had to do that, or I have to do that. So now, yesterday, I woke up knowing that my time together is getting closer and closer for me to leave, and it was rough, man. Shanna woke up and she was plagued all night with her thoughts, right? Because it's late at night and early in the morning, especially if you sleep on it, right? If you don't train your brain and your thought process to sleep on whatever's going on in your life in a positive manner, it'll creep in then, right? Because like your body's resting and you're at your weakest point, right? You're like completely down. Your systems are down, and it's only your mind that's operating. So negativity knows when to strike, and that's the time. That's the time for all of the bad thoughts to inject themselves and create a reality in your mind that's not even the reality outside, but it is real. It's as real as you can think, good and bad, and that's how you manifest your life anyhow, right? So whatever you constantly think is going to be your constant interactions with your environment and with the people within that environment. So I was already on that vibe, like, it's that time. I'm gonna have to go grind it out. I don't have a crib to stay at, so like I'm gonna be mostly like crashing at my cousin's house or a friend's house or in the gym. I'm literally gonna live in the gym, like no bull. I've done this before. So like I might go sleep someplace late night or whatever. I might go to my cousin's house and sleep in his house or whatever, but then I'll wake up before anybody else gets up, and then I go to the gym, and then I'm there. That's where I'm at. Like I'll get on my laptop and I'll work and I'll do what I gotta do. I'll even shower there. I'll chill in the lounge. I'll go work out. I'll chill in the lounge. I'll go work out. I'll chill in the lounge. I'll go work out. Right. So like I'm putting, while I'm at night, and the worry and the insecurity and the fears are trying to creep in, that's where I combat them and set my goals. Like this is what I'm gonna do, and this is the benefits of doing that, right? Like one, my family's safe. I don't have to worry about that. Two, I'm not expending any money. I don't have any bills or anything, no rent or nothing to pay. So I'll be stacking whatever chips I come across. I could stack. Three, I could focus on my eating and exercise, hard body, because that's all I got, and I'll inject myself into that environment and won't leave it. I'll just stay in the gym, literally live in the gym. And then I could go to a few different gyms too. So I'm giving myself those things. So like now I have that combating the negative thoughts, but this is all night. Like, first of all, I'm not sleeping very well anyway, just because I'm in the middle of the mission. Second of all, I don't sleep very well because I don't sleep very well. And then third of all, I'm planning and masterminding, and I can't turn it off. Like, I want to turn it off, but I can't right now because there's so much going on, including with our parents. So that's my thought process throughout the night. And then I'm usually up about 4 or 4:30, where I finally like just give up on sleep. And then I'm in the middle of my in-laws' living room or whatever on an air mattress. So like I take down everything. Like I fold my sheets up, I let the air out the air mattress, I pack it in the bag, I clean my little area, I try to disappear from that area before anybody's awake. I'll go to the bathroom, I'll take care of my business, and then I'm usually out the door for my walk or whatever. But that morning, or yesterday morning, Shanna got up early too, and I got up a little bit later. Yesterday it was more like a 5:30 thing, so I was probably walking out the door maybe around 6ish, and then Shanna was like, she wanted to come with me. I'm like, yeah, come on, let's go, come on, let's go for a walk, let's go for a walk. So then she came, but then she was going through it last night or that night before as well. So when she got up, she was feeling the pressures and the worry and the sadness of me leaving now. And then I'm sure too the insecurities of me not being there handling the things that I handle close by. She hates to be apart from me, the same like I hate to be apart from her, right? Like we're such a close-knit team, and we work hand in hand. So as I'm doing something, she's doing something, and we turn around and swap it out, and they're like, that's how we work. We're very, very dynamic in that way, and bounce back and forth. So it's kind of hard to operate without the other one and maintain that flow, right? Or maintain the feeling of that flow. Like obviously we can do it, but there's a loss. You feel the loss there, right? So she's already feeling that way. And then she says something to me on the way out the door. And then I respond in a way that was triggering. And like what she said wasn't like a bad thing either. And what I said, the way I responded wasn't in a bad way. It's just where we were mentally in that mode because of our struggle throughout the night. We were not feeling good. We were not in a good headspace. But we were on our way out the door. You got to go do it anyway, even if you don't feel like it, to get out of that headspace, to get away from that headspace. So we decided to get some fuel for some breakfast first before we go for our walk. We stop at a little diner, and then we talk it out, right? And the talk wasn't so comfortable, right? Like she wasn't feeling so good, and I wasn't responding in a way. I didn't know how to respond, no matter if it's my fault or her fault or whatever fault, right? Because you got to take fault out of the equation. At the end of the day, we were not having a volley. It wasn't going back and forth appropriately. It was a lot of shutting it down. So whether it was my responses that weren't creating the flow, or her reactions to my responses that weren't, doesn't matter which one was the breakdown in communication. The fact is there was a breakdown in communication, and then we have to come to that realization over the fact of who's communicating well. Forget about who's communicating well. We both are not communicating well if there's a breakdown in communication, right? You have to trump whatever you're talking about with that thing. You have to trump the breakdown in communication with the fact that there is a breakdown in communication. And then you got to be like, hold up, there's a breakdown in communication. We need to find common ground again. Forget about how we feel in this moment, because neither one of us feel like we want to feel, and it doesn't make any sense for either one of us to try to justify why either one of us feel the way we feel, because neither one of us want to feel this way. So trump the argument and create a debate. Trump the debate with the fact that there's a breakdown in communication, and let's get back on steady ground. Let's get back on even ground. And then that's what happened. And then at breakfast, we talked it out. We weren't like arguing or loud or whatever, but we were not as we wanted to be in public, right? I can say that much. But we weren't like causing a scene or anything goofy like that. And we always maintained respect for one another in that debate, right? And then we both decided to reset, because we both understood that this is not where we want to be or how we want to feel. And then you come back to, okay, I'm not feeling good. I'm in control of how I feel. Let's get back to the plan. The plan is this. This is how we execute. This is my next step. What is your next step? Okay, this is my next step. Okay, let's get back to the plan. Feel good about being triumphant in this time. Feel good about reaching said goal. Feel good about flipping the negative. It's really up to you, and you really are in control to do that. It's not always easy, man. As a matter of fact, it's not ever easy. It's never easy to do that, man. Like, control yourself. Stop justifying your anger. It's difficult. Those are difficult things to do, but you have to do it. You have to do it. you got to be responsible for how you are and how you treat other people, and then in turn how you want them to treat you. You have to be responsible for those things, right? And not even for anybody else, but for yourself, and for you to maintain what you're trying to get accomplished. Do it if you're not level-headed. You're not going to do it if you can't push past the rough patches, if you can't move away from the feeling that you don't want. You have to realize that I don't want to feel like this. I don't want to speak like this. I don't want to communicate with the person I love the most this way. I want to move away from this thing. So then you literally have to physically, mentally, spiritually, and emotionally move away from that. So that's what we did. We moved away from first. We communicated the fact that we didn't want to be here, and this is not a place we enjoy being. So verbally, we moved away from it. Mentally, it's a little bit harder. Emotionally, it's a little bit harder because you still may have a valid point you want to get across, or you still don't feel so good inside because of what was just said or done, or just being in that feeling, right? That feeling is still lingering some. So, but you have to just push past it anyway, and you have to release those thoughts anyway. And then physically, we went to the gym, and then we walked it off. And then in the gym, we reset way before we even hit the gym. But by the time we was in there walking on the treadmill and whatnot, everything was good, and we were back on track, and we were back on our plan. And then the rest of the day was nice, right? Today again, I woke up and I'm leaving tonight. You know what I'm saying? Tonight I'm leaving. I'm like, I'm kind of sad. I don't like to be away from my kids and whatnot. So I got up early, and now I'm out handling my business that I got to handle before I leave. And then that's it. I'm going to make this video. I'm going to talk to you about it. And being a person with the glass half full, or being positive, it's work. It's not always easy, man. I don't feel good right now. It doesn't feel good for the things that I'd much rather be chilling and everything is good and that's what it is, and we're just doing family stuff and blah blah blah. But no, that's not what's happening in my life. So then I can't focus on the things that I don't like about what's ahead or in the mission. I'd rather focus on the things that I do like about it, right? I'd rather focus on the things that I'm going to achieve and the level up I'm going to produce. And I'd rather focus on staying consistent on doing these talks with you guys and being excited at what's new, because like now it's going to be on. Like when I'm out there going in, like I got different stuff to do now. Now I'm going to be like in the gym and whatnot and working out, and different topics will come about. I'm going to show like how I'm like survival mode on full blast, right? So like I'm looking forward to that part. Not necessarily looking forward to being in there, right? Like you don't want to be in survival mode, but I'm looking forward onto making the best of it and then showing off that I know how to do that really well, right? Like, so that's what I'm looking forward to. So that, yeah, man, there's balance, right? There's balance, and you get to choose how you feel about what's going on in your life. You get to choose those things. You get to make it what you want it to be, regardless of what's going on. That's completely up to you. How you feel is completely up to you. If you letting the whole world tell you how to feel or make you feel a certain way, forget about it, man. Like if that's the way you get down, you're gonna live the most traumatic life ever. It's all kinds of drama happening all over the world. You're gonna inject yourself in all of that? I'd rather not, man. I'd rather stay focused, stay on my A game, teach myself how to feel good in all situations, learn how to master the things that I want to achieve in this experience, focus on the important things that I feel are important, learn everything that I want to get accomplished, not just trying to get it done or it just happens. No, like I'm looking forward to learning these things, and I've already achieved so much in my life, and I've already had so many wonderful experiences Look, my reset is different than most people's reset. I'm not gonna front about that. My reset is different, right? Because of all of the relationships I had established, because of my character. I got friends from kindergarten. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm that guy. That's me. So my reset is a little bit different, right? Because I respect it that way too. You know? So like, I don't want you to think that, I don't know. I don't even know what I'm really trying to say, because everybody has their own situation, right? That's what I'm really trying to say. Everybody has their own situation, and I don't ever feel like, even in the worst predicaments I've had myself in, I don't ever feel like that's it, like it's over, it's a wrap for me. No, I feel more like, oh, it's time to learn something new and move on, and then use that. Like my wife said the other day, we've been here before, and every time we've been here, it's leveled us up. It's been greater than the loss, and the experience has taught us and enhanced our abilities. So this one, I feel like, is a real major one. I think this is like the one, because mostly for myself, because I'm not doing it for nobody no more, man. Like, it ain't no partners. It ain't no, yo, just use my skill sets, my connects, my talents for what you do, and bring me along to how you get it. It ain't none of that no more, man. Like, no, this time we're going to build it all. We're going to put it all together, and we're going to package it for ourselves, for my wife, for my children, for our parents. And all of the things that I've learned throughout all of my experiences and my life have prepared us for this time in our lives. I could build, I know electric, I know plumbing, I know construction, I know how to pass inspections for city and state and building inspections. I know licensing. I have all kinds of certifications and certificates. I'm an artist. I'm a visionary. I'm a hard worker. I'm talented. I have a great family structure at home. I know how to handle relationships well. I know all of these things. I have all of these skill sets, and now is the time to apply them all for our family, right? So we're all gonna come together. That's what I was trying to do anyway. I was just trying to put it all together for all of us, solo dolo, but I couldn't. And now is the time where we have to really take care of her parents and really take care of my parents and have everybody close enough, because watching other people handle our parents, that ain't it, man. The way it is out there, bro, that is not it. Listen, if you have any love for any of your parents or whatever, man, you got to be careful with how these people are. The hospitals, the doctors, the insurance companies, everything, bro. They just don't care. It's just a number. And these people are expendable because they're old. They're old folks. They're going to die soon. They're just a number on a waiting list. And it ain't even that big of a deal to them. This is your loved one. This is your parent. Make it a big deal to you to ensure that they get the respect and the love that they need. Make sure that you if you're not able to put them in a place that's like top-notch, high-end, hooking them up, nah, man, make sure your peoples are good. That's all I gotta say, man. Because I seen it, I live it. And I love my parents regardless of whatever. They did the best they could with what they had. And they're humans, and they didn't get the manual on me, just like I didn't get the manual on my kids. And they did what they thought they could, right? And now they're in a situation where they need help. So we have to bring them together, and we gotta bring them with us. And that's just what it is, man. It's horrible out there for them. So I have a lot of responsibilities on my shoulders, and sometimes it weighs me down. Sometimes I feel overwhelmed, right? Despite all of my self-praising, and despite the realization of all of my skill sets and talents, gifts, oomph, sometimes I get tired, man. Sometimes I get whooped. A lot of times I don't feel good. A lot of times, man. A lot of times I'm consumed with thoughts that I'd rather not be thinking. But you know what's the good thing about that? Is I learn how to deal with them. I don't run from those thoughts. No, I deal with them face on. I go all the way deep, right? And in there, when you tap in like that, bro, you hear everybody's thoughts. When you tap in and you go and you plug all the way in, you hear everything. Because it's all out there. It's frequency. It's all out there. It's radio stations. Today's news. Oh, this is a song I like to hear. Like, bro, it's all out there. Every idea that you came up with is out there. Every thought that you have is out there. All inventions, all music notes, it's out there, right? It's frequencies. And the more you learn how to tap into your own frequency and really face your own thoughts, the more you get to explore the frequencies that are out there. And then when you're connected, you get insight, you get creativity, you get rushes of ideas and inspiration, right? You really strengthen that connection with the universe by really strengthening the connection with yourself, with your own thoughts. Let me ask you a question. If you don't say a word, don't open your mouth, don't do anything, and say your name in your head. Do it right now. Just close your mouth, don't make a single peep, and say your name. First and last. Did you hear that? Did you hear that you can say your name without making a sound? So you heard something, right? So how do you hear without your ears? That's number one, okay? So number one, you don't even need your ears to hear, all right? You heard yourself saying your own name first and last. Now let me ask you this. Are you the thing that said the name? Or are you the thing that heard the name being said? So that's where the beginning of the battle of ego and consciousness begins. We are not these meat bags, bruh. Right? We are the thing that can hear. Not always the thing that speaks. Because a lot of times we talk from our ego. A lot of times we talk from a point of view that we do not own. But you're always the thing that hears it. Alright? So sometimes in your own mind, you hear things you'd rather not hear. Sometimes you tapped into the wrong frequency and the ugliest thoughts cross your mind. Sometimes you talk to yourself so poorly that it affects you negatively in your surroundings. Sometimes you manifest the most ugliest things because you're constantly tuned in to that ugly station. You're not the thing that is speaking the thoughts. That's the universe. That's where all thoughts live. But you are the thing that can hear it. That's consciousness. That's the soul. So, what's the game here? Free will, right? That's the game. Oh, how come God just doesn't fix everything and make everything great? No, because then we wouldn't have free will. We wouldn't be allowed to choose one or the other. And then God can't be the great redeemer if everything is good, right? He can't fulfill promises of redemption or the W or the turnaround or forgiveness if there's nothing to forgive, redeem, or turn around, right? So that's for you religious buffs out there, right? So if you're the thing that hears and not necessarily the thing that speaks, because the thing that speaks can be speaking untruths, guess what you get to do? When you hear the things that cross your mind that you do not like, you get to tell it something different. You get to tell your consciousness the opposite thing that came across your mind that you did not like. Change your thoughts. And it might not feel so good at first. It might feel like you're lying to yourself because you're so used to listening to all of those negative thoughts and negative ideas and watching all of the stupid things on TV and the news and the this and the that, and you're so consumed with all of the traumas of all of the world. And then late at night you sit there and you sleep on all of the bad things that can possibly happen. Oh, I'm suffering a future that has not even happened, but I'm creating, wishing that it doesn't happen, but I'm creating it because I'm constantly wishing that it doesn't happen. And guess what? It happens. I knew it was going to happen. I knew it was going to be bad like this. Yeah, duh. You wished on it for so long, for so many years, that you built the character in this negative zone, that we've built a culture of negative people, that we've built an environment of negativity, that we built pride to be negative. Ego. Stop it. Stop torturing yourself. Who cares what people think? Stop torturing yourself. When are you going to stop torturing yourself? Or continue? Because maybe that's your mission. Maybe life goes like that. Maybe this is your round for you to beat the hell out of yourself so that next round you don't do that. I don't know. But what I do know is I'm not torturing myself. No. Not no more. I'm not doing that, man. I'm not doing it. I'm walking away from that. Mentally, physically, spiritually, emotionally, I'm walking away from all of those traumas and all of the things people are telling me I'm supposed to be scared of and I'm supposed to be mad at and I'm supposed to not accept in my life. And, oh, no, you shouldn't do that. Oh, no, you got to be like that. Oh, how dare you let them people talk to you like, no, man, bump all of that. And bump all of them, too. Let them do whatever they do and let them do it over there. Good luck with that. I hope you find success in that. Me, I'm going to try to find success over here in what I'm thinking right now. So, no, it don't always feel good. No, I hardly ever have the answer. But I'm willing to find it. I'm willing to push past it. I'm willing to know and accept how I feel and understand that this is far away from what I want to feel like. No, I'm not blaming nobody else for this. No, I'm not giving anybody else the power to change it. No, none of that. Not even God. Right? You give it to God to guide you, but it ain't His responsibility for you to make it to Him. Make it to Him. Do your part. He already gave it to you. It's all in you already. Now be grateful for what He gave you and live the purpose that He gave you. And live the gratitude that you're supposed to have for just waking up and for being able to make these decisions. He already did His part, her part, its part. God already did that part. It's in you already. It's already there. You were born with it. When are you going to do your part and meet it and allow that thing to work. Sometimes it takes a lot of loss, man. Sometimes you gotta get knocked upside the head several times. Sometimes it gotta get stripped from you over and over and over until you finally like, oh my God, I had enough. I get it now. And it's not as hard as living hard. Living hard is much harder than allowing yourself to be free of all of the pressures you put on yourself. Living hard is a lot harder than learning how to release all of the anger, learning how to meditate, learning how to pray, learning how to be a better person for yourself, learning how to be a better spouse, a better son, daughter, a better brother, sister. It's a lot harder living hard than to learn how to do all of these things. Learn your finances. Yo, you broke? Learn finances. We don't live in an age where you should be broke. There's so many things you can do to make money. But all you have to do is learn. All you have to do is take some time. All you got to do is work at 9 to 5, doing whatever you're doing, late nights, work on what you want to be working on until one outgrows the other, and then you're there. No, man. Everybody wants instant gratification. But what happens when you get things instantly? You lose them instantly. No value there because you haven't learned anything. They can't take the knowledge from you. Once you learn something, it's stuck. Oh, I know this now. Oh, I know finances now. Oh, I got the game now. I know the system now. Oh, I know myself now. Oh, I got that. I learned myself. I figured me out. I know what it takes to make me move. I know where my triggers are. I know what makes me happy. I know how to be a good version of myself. Right? Oh, I know how to be a good husband. Oh, I know how to be a good child. Oh, I know how to be a good friend. I learned how to do those things. I did what it takes, and I faced the hard parts head on, looked in the mirror and found accountability, and I did those things. I put in the work, right? But that's constant. That's an everyday. That's an everyday. And it's not easy. It's hard. Yesterday was hard. Tomorrow's going to be hard. But I'm looking forward to a lot of things in that. I'm looking forward to the channel, the changes and the challenges. I'm looking forward to those things. Like Shanna said, like, yo, we're killing this game. We're on the new level. The new level gets harder. When you're playing a game, I don't care if it's whatever game you're playing, the next level is not easier than the last level you were on. No, the next level is harder. We're on the next level. It's on and popping. Push through the rough patches. Change your thoughts. Move away from the things that don't make you feel good. Move away from them. Don't blame them. Don't curse them. Don't damn them. Just move away from them. That's all you got to do. And appreciate them for giving you the thought and giving you the strength and giving you the new tactic to learn how to move away from them. Because those things have purpose as well. And you don't have to be mad at them. You don't have to be mad at that person. You don't have to be mad at that situation. You don't have to be mad at that job, that boss, God, life, yourself. You don't have to be mad at yourself. No. Stop all of that. Just move away from those thoughts, situation, idea, place. Move away. That's it. Well, I did about 40 minutes of rambling about this. I'm driving, and sometimes the GPS popped up of where to go. So there was a lot of pauses. I'll see about editing that out. If it even popped up, I don't know. So you'll hear me repeating myself if I didn't edit that. But I am having fun learning how to edit and all of that too. I'm having fun with all of this, and I'm having fun talking to myself with the imagination of all the viewers, right? It doesn't matter how many people are actually viewing. For me, when I'm having these conversations, everybody that needs to hear it is listening. and I'm genuine. I'm coming off genuine because I'm genuine. This is really what's going down, and I'm really gonna keep on doing it because I'm really reaching the people that it needs to be reached, and it will continue to do so, and not because I wanted to, but because it's supposed to do that. And that's how I speak into this thing, and that's why I'm grateful for this thing. It gives me an outlet to let it out. I don't have to bottle all of this up. I don't have to be trapped in my own head with these thoughts. This is a way I can expose my vulnerabilities to many without being in front of many, right? I don't mind that either. TED Talks are coming too, right? All of that. I'm going to grace the stage. I'm going to set it up. I'm going to help this way. This is the way I was meant to do it, right? So many people, you in your wheelhouse, you're using your gift. Finally, you're doing this. Finally. I get so many messages and compliments like that. And, let me tell you something that happened the other day that was awesome. So, where my mother lives, she lives in a senior building. It's not like a nursing home or nothing, but it's just all seniors that live there. And one of the ladies, she's a little bit younger than most of them, but she's a blind lady. And my mother has lived there for some time now. And I've never met the blind lady, but I've heard about her. And she lives there. So I met her for the first time a few days ago. She was like, "Oh, who's that voice? Are you Carmen's son?" I said, "Yeah, I'm Hector. It's good to meet you." She's like, "Oh, finally I get to meet you. It's very good to meet you." I said, "Oh, thank you. It's good to meet you too." She was like, "Oh, I could tell that you're very handsome." I was like, "Yeah, you're right. I'm handsome." And then my mom, she's coming out of her apartment at that time. And then the lady was like, "Oh, you have such a wonderful voice. I can tell you're such a good person. And your voice is so soothing and so powerful. You have such a beautiful voice. I can tell that you're genuine and you're such a good person." And for a blind woman to tell me that in the middle of what I'm doing, in the middle of me using my voice, in the middle of me learning how to do what I'm doing, for a blind woman to tell me how important my voice was and what it meant for her. So my response to her was, what an amazing compliment from someone who has an enhanced ability. That is amazing. Thank you. You have no idea what you've done for me. And by me telling her, and it just came out, and it was very genuine and very instantaneous, right? Like she said what she said, and I said, "Wow, for someone like you to have an enhanced ability and to tell me about my voice the way you just spoke to me about my voice is like everything to me right now." When I told her that she has an enhanced ability, and I didn't highlight the fact that she was handicapped, right? That lit her all the way up. She was like, "Oh, and you're charming too." And then she was like, "Oh, do you have a wife?" I said, "Yeah, I'm happily married, 24 years. We've been together 27 years. And she was like, "Ah, shucks," like that. And I was like, "Well, don't worry. If my wife start acting up, I'll come back and we can hook up." And then she was like, "Oh, I'm going to tell." And I was like, "No, don't tell her, because if you tell her, she's going to be like, take him. And then she was like, "Oh, and you're funnies," so like we had such a good back and forth interaction. But for a blind woman to tell me how soothing and how beautiful and how powerful my voice was, man, that was the greatest compliment I could have ever gotten. And then now, in this time where I proclaimed my life as a mission and the things that I'm doing, I'm finding every little breadcrumb that means a sign for being on the right track, and a sign of God, and a sign of positivity. To get that kind of symbolism, which I create as a sign, right? In my own perspective, I'm like, powerful. I'm gonna use it, and I'm gonna place it in the shelf, in the file of my mind as powerful, as aligned as serendipity. I'm going to place it in that file, right? Like you get to do those things. You get to do those things. Now, or I could be like, oh, that's chance, or that blind lady don't know what she's talking about, or whatever. Like, no. Thank you, God. Serendipity. Boop. Filed. Another symbol that I'm going in the right direction and I'm doing the right thing and I'm where I should be, despite what it might look like or feel like. There's opportunity here. The slate has been cleaned. There's nothing else to do but build it as you choose. Build it as you choose from this point. Don't allow people to be like, yo, you should put this kind of house here, and then you want to have this kind of thing here, and then you want to do this right here, and then, hey, yo, what you guys think about this? Well, if you give me some of that, I'll make sure you get what you need over here. And then when they do it half-assed. Like, nah. My slate has been cleaned for me to build as I choose, and that's exactly what we're gonna do. And we're gonna be patient in our thinking, and we're gonna be patient in our self-speech. We're going to be kind to ourselves, and we're going to work and build it as we choose. So, do the same. Even when it doesn't feel good, do it scared. That was the other one, right? These all tie into one another. Push past the rough patches, because in the moment, there are things in my life that remind me that I'm uncomfortable. And that's it. And then sometimes my wife and I are both feeling uncomfortable at the same time, and it doesn't reflect well on each other. And then we end up having a debate or a conversation we'd rather not have. I don't choose to say arguments, because we're beyond that in our communication level. I don't have nothing to argue with that woman about. What? The end result is always going to be that we're together and we're working through it. So it ain't no, oh, that's it, I'm leaving you, or it ain't no, oh, this is what I always thought about you. No, we were so beyond that already, like it doesn't even matter. Now what we have to do is hurry up and get to the solution. We're about solutions, not about problems. So if we realize that the problem is pulling us away from one another or has us out of character with one another, reset that quick. All right, guys, enough gems for the moment. I've been driving for a little while now. Love you. I love me. Thank you for this opportunity. I'm going to continue to talk, and I'm going to give it to you. I'm going to give you what you want. Give you what you want. All right, later. Peace.